again. It's another beautiful day and another beautiful time out with Gabby, thinking beyond the box as usual. And interestingly, we will be addressing very interesting topics today. I want to start by letting you know that every year comes with a challenge. Every nation is actually facing a phase or the other. But it's how we migrate, how we improve, how we come out of it that counts. Really, the word is reaction. How we react to circumstances or situation determines, how people appreciate us or how they view us. Today's show, we'll be having a couple of guests discussing several issues at different dimensions, innovation, and of course, as always, that Thinking Beyond the Box, it's a program that invites or zooms in X-rays, personalities or individuals who have decided to think beyond the box, who have left the norm, who have left the regular platform to begin to solve problems. And today's set of guests will not be any different. We have a couple of guests that they actually specialize in a particular field, but have chosen to engage in another dimension or in another sphere of the society. You will know that generally there is this talk about the seven sphere of society, which involves education, family, religion, government, entertainment, business, sports, and the likes. So what will X-ray certain issues in that direction? And after, when we come back at another break, we'll also have the issue of the mountain of religion being discussed. We have interesting personality in this area who also, he's not just a pastor, he's not just a mere man of God, like you would say it, but he's somebody who understands the sphere of society that he represents, which is the sphere of religion and how it affects the nation. We'll be discussing several issues that many of you have been asking the questions. What is the church doing about the society? Who is checking the pastors? Who is watching the pastors' excesses? Today's show will deal with that. And I want to encourage you that if you want to follow through, you better sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. As soon as we go for this short break, when we come back, you'll begin to meet my guests and we'll get interactive. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome again to Thinking Beyond the Box with Gabby. And like I earlier said, if you're just joining us, we have some interesting topics to discuss. It's going to be 2 segments as it was. And today we'll be looking first of all some sort of, should I call them science-inclined individuals who have taken another turn to ride on. And they have looked at it, you cannot talk about this without talking about where there's first. And one person is going to be talking on real estate while the other is going to be talking about cars. And
men and cars, and how to sell and buy one. So, but let me go straight ahead to introduce my guest. They said it is ladies before the men, or the men, or the ladies after the men. I want to welcome to today's program Kim. Kim, you are welcome. Kim Offer.
Thank you.
You're looking very gorgeous, and
thank you.
We're very happy. Like you just hit lottery. So you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And of course, Mr. Jas Shedrack, also real estate practitioner, and as well as franchise owner of Cars, Cars 45. You guys are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, before we get on, I know, Nkem, this is your first time in Delta.
Yes, it is.
So please just tell us about the environment quickly.
Okay, so it's welcoming. The people are nice. The people are so warm and they're nice. They were nice to me, so it's really fun being
So
here.
the blanket you brought in, you dropped it like that. Okay, you're welcome. It's Delta, and Delta is full of fun.
Yes.
But so quickly, let me get on. Before I begin to engage you on, what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about systems, quite all right. How to sustain the economy, how to sustain, our businesses. That general concept. But tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
Okay, so my name is Nkem Ofu. I'm from Enugu State.
Yeah.
A graduate of Industrial Chemistry Department.
Industrial chemistry.
Yes, Industrial Chemistry Department at Boy State University. Currently I work with Cars 45, so that is basically it about me.
No, there's something you said off cam that I wanted to share online. You'd like to know a lot about Nkem, right?
Okay.
Now, the industrial chemistry. Let me even get a little bit about industrial chemistry. Before I even ask the question I want to ask, what is that thing? Because I keep hearing people, industrial chemistry. If you study industrial chemistry, where are you supposed to be?
Okay, I'm studying industrial chemistry. I'm supposed to either be in an oil farm where we are trying to make some chemicals for the chemical fluid used during drilling and rig work.
Okay.
Or I'm also supposed to be working in a pharmaceutical company that produces drugs.
Okay.
Or work in companies that produce soap, cream, and all that.
Has to do with chemical and the industry as well.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's just to hold on. Now, and you find yourself in a car mint or car sales rep or
Yes,
a car dealer.
I've always found myself in the marketing department, in the something way outside my own field. Yes, so
it's good that we take note there. I'm going to come back to that so that we'll drive in. Shedrack, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Delta. I studied electrical engineering.
It's good to know you're Delta. You're not a visitor. And you also studied electrical engineering.
Yes.
So that means you're supposed to also be one of the NEPA guys carrying things. I really feel that. But, thinking beyond the box, you are now providing solution in real estate and as well as franchising, because it's a system. We want to talk about franchising. We want to talk about this thing that Nkem has engaged, and you two have also engaged, because that's what we did. And you're making some reasonable progress. Like you can see, anybody who sees her knows that she's happy about what she's doing. And I'm sure if she was actually in that, can imagine her in a soap making company.
I don't want to do myself dirty.
No, but the truth is that we've had people who have actually done that and they're excelling in that.
True.
So it's not like it's something terrible. Just looking at you, seeing excitement. I can't imagine if you actually feel this good down there. So quickly, guys, Nigeria is moving forward. We're coming out of the post-COVID. Kim has, she said she's in the car industry. Let's look at cars a little bit, just to interest us. So what do you do in Car 45?
Okay, so in Cars 45, through our platform, you can buy, sell, and swap a vehicle.
Okay.
We try to make it easy for our customers, Nigerians, in exchange of Nigerian used cars, which is actually very reliable going through us, because out there in the field, in the world, in the streets, it's very, very difficult for you to be able to rely on an individual in terms of getting a verified vehicle, but through our platform, we are sure of every vehicle you're getting, whether Nigeria used or Tokunbo. They
Okay.
are all verified and well inspected.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, but my focus now is what will carry someone like you to engage in it, and looking at the outcome of the pandemic, because now we're now talking post-pandemic and the aftermath. That's what interests me, and that's what I wanted to share. What did you guys do? Especially you now, this in sales. What did you do to alleviate the issues? Because of course, through our last year, people did not make so much money. What do you think that cars would be? There was no movement, let alone buying cars. So how did you guys come out of it? How did you come out of it? How did the organization come out of it? And what are the new structures that we put in place to guide?
Okay, so like we've always known, cars is something that is valuable, is an asset for someone to own a vehicle, because there's nothing like having that convenience of moving from one point to the other without the stress and hustle of bus drivers, keke drivers, and cab drivers. Like the whole, let's say those in Lagos, and the whole streets, madness and criminality and all that. So,
well, that's about. So let's say those in Asaba.
okay, those are the keke guys. The keke, the stress of jumping from one keke to the other is something that we try to help people cut down. For post-pandemic, we brought in car financing.
Okay, so that's the system that you guys built in, because
Yeah.
you're looking at how to system that can sustain the organization and also sustain, the people. So post-COVID, you guys built in
Car financing.
car financing. Okay, so I just want to hold a cue on that.
Okay.
We're not, when we get to that. Shadrach, your own bits, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, why did you go into real estate? And why into franchising? Because I know you're also into some of these branding franchise as well. So why real estate instead of electricity?
Well, housing
Yes.
is a necessity for every human, either you're in Nigeria or not. So you see, the challenge of people, so many people are homeless, they don't have a house of their own, and they find it difficult for them to acquire landed properties or even housing properties for themselves. They don't even have, they find it difficult to acquire housing or even landed properties for themselves. So we are thinking about what can we do to solve this problem? How can we help even the lonely one to acquire and also have this feeling?
Exactly. Okay.
So in view of this, we start to come into this concept of solving the solution, giving the solution to this problem by coming up with a program, a system that is practical, a system that can work, and they can be able to acquire even with instrumental payments and also.
Wow. So and I know your project also involves, you're also looking outside people, because I know there are such systems like cooperative where people gather money, they come together to buy, and that's because they are maybe in a particular public service, they work in a particular ministry or MDGs or MDs or something like that. But your own project involves, you guys are looking outside, not just people working in government, but somebody who's in private, somebody who's on the street can actually, be on your program.
Sure.
So what informed that, and how did you get your backing? How do you get the support? Because it costs a lot to acquire properties and then do some of the things you do. Because I know you guys are also into building as well. Am I right?
Sure. Real estate entails not just the sales of landed properties, it also entails construction, renovation, supervision, and all aspects of until the final solution is achieved, housing.
And it's the person moves in. So I'm fortunate to have known you now, so you actually give me a house.
We can discuss that.
We can discuss that. So this is where we're talking about. My guest here, if you're just joining us, they are helping to solve problems where, of course, an area of interest. Because I have to say as well that somehow, say from my own perspective, that there's there's a mad flow of cars and hunger for cars post-pandemic. I don't know if I'm right to say that. You're the expert here. How has sales been, you know?
Okay, so
And what is driving people to get cars? I know you said something. What is driving people to get cars?
Okay, so sales have been good and fair to us, despite the whole situation of the country and the whole government thing with Corona, the pandemic actually. It's been fair and it's been good. Also, the fact that, like I said earlier, the stress of jumping from one KK to the other, there's nothing like having that convenience of your own. So that's basically it. And you know, most people school run and so you really have to need a vehicle to be able to convey your kids without them feeling the stress and all that.
And so that as well, I can make excuse for your own too, because right now the way the rates are going, in fact, I'm building also to reach out. I'm going to have to bring some of these guys back on the block. The rate of rentage is outrageous, and the right word is outrageous. I wish I'm using the right English, but it's crazy. And I don't understand how. Is it because of massive influx, or is it because there is no regulation? Shouldn't you be able to tell us that? Because you are helping out solve the problem of building. So, but before then, we would have to go for a short break. When we come back, then we'll be dealing on these issues. And many of us want to know what it is that Shadrach and his guys are doing to alleviate the problem. Don't go away, stand by. Welcome back to Thinking Beyond the Box with Gabby on a Tuesday. And it's interesting, we're already very happy and excited here. I'm learning a lot from my guests, Shadrach Jazz, Mr. Jazz Shadrach, or Shadrach Jazz, you know, and then of course Nkem Ofo. And we're having fun. You know, two major areas where we know that right now, post-pandemic, everybody's interested in. One is housing. There is a lot of demand for accommodation. Before the break, that's what I was saying. Then the second one is cars. And like Nkem said, one of the reasons why there's an increase in demand because the concept of car being a liability has changed. It is now an asset. You know, because of the risk, you know, involved in hiking vehicles, the kidnapping, all of this unsafety. You know, people are now placing more demand on vehicular movement. So that was before the break. So over to you, Nkem. Now that we're saying that, what kind of cars, you know, are on high demand? Just give us some of the cars and why.
Okay, so for cars, every cars are in demand, but majorly Toyota cars and Honda vehicles. Reason being because it's they're quite cheaper to maintain.
Okay,
and then, yes, then the mechanics are readily available.
Okay.
Unlike Ford vehicles and all those other American cars, where you have to either go to Quescharis, like go to the main people
Dealers.
with the dealers, yes,
to get them.
to get the parts, to get the mechanics to fix it.
Okay.
So that's
So I'm already getting an idea now, right now. So I have to now, maybe I'll think of getting the franchise for Ford to bring Ford mechanics here so that the facilities will not be here. The facilities will not be here, rather, will now be here. Now, interestingly, why I asked that question is, first off, so that we might be able to guide our thought system. Now, having said that, in buying a vehicle or trying to engage in, get myself an asset, because now you've told me that it's no longer a liability. What we are taught all this while is that cars are liabilities. If you don't have money for maintenance, don't buy a car. But now that's the wrong focus because it's mindset change. Now, in getting a vehicle, what are the things to look for?
Okay, so first of all, yes, I said cars, they are an asset. But let's not forget the fact that not all assets appreciate. Like cars are one of the assets that do not appreciate.
Okay.
They depreciate over time. It's a machine that wears out.
The money is a contrary now. The car that they bought 900,000 used in Nigeria is now being sold for 1.56 million. 1.6 million rather.
Nope. It depends.
Okay.
If you're talking about getting a car from Tokumbo or brand new, yes, the prices are quite high. And then if the cars are being claimed this year, last year, because of the whole custom duty and all that, the prices are quite high.
Okay.
So then when it's a Nigeria used vehicle, there are many things to look out for.
Okay.
Basically maintenance. How clean, how sound is the engine, how sound is the gear parts of the vehicle. Then you check the AC compartments, you check the suspension, you check the interior, and then the exterior comes in. And like we always say, first the eye gets to admire first before we now check what's inside. So when the vehicle, you're trying to get a vehicle and you look at the body, you might feel discouraged. But most times, let's try and look beyond the exterior. Let's go as far as checking, because it's even quite easy to manage the exterior parts. Do you understand? So let's try and go beyond the exterior and check the engine, the gear, and all that.
Okay, so check the interior. I like that. The way you are talking about it, it just reminds me of the human system. If you want to change your appearance, if you want to change how people perceive you, first of all, you have to change who you are on the inside.
Exactly.
So here, when you say the eye first attracts you, that's what it does. But the truth is that we have to look on the inside. So we have to look at the interior before the exterior. So we check the engine, check the gear system, check the suspension, and before you check the interior, then the exterior. Wow. I just learned something today on car. That's why it's good to have people like you. And I won't say a final thought, but just one quick one. Now, you made mention of the loans. I just want to get a little glimpse into what when you said post-COVID, you guys preferred a solution for the people. And I want people to also hear that and look at their businesses and begin to think that way innovation. So what was innovation about the loans and provision that your outfit created?
Okay, so first, like I said, the convenience it gives, and then the fact that due to after the COVID and pandemic, a whole lot of horrible things started happening in the country, like the kidnap, the whole fraud, and all that. So a whole lot of people started looking for ways to actually get their own vehicle, but just that they don't have the complete fare. So we sitting down at the back end, we thought of it. We can actually partner with some banks and then make this provision for them while they pay small, like gradually, understanding the whole country situation and all that. So that is it.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sandra, now we are going. I want to call you to Jazz. He's Mr. Jazz. I don't know why I love Jazz. I swear. Before you go, on the real estate, that was before the break. I was actually beginning to throw like a tantrum on air about this incessant increase in the rates. I did a little investigation and I found out that a lot of the landlords said they're not the ones that increase the renting. That is actually the agents. Now, you as a realtor, you also represent, I don't know if you do that, if you are into renting of houses as well or just property development, but did you come across a situation and is it part of your innovation? Tell us innovation that you've made for us to come out of it? Because I really want to come out of that situation. Yes.
Well, the truth is, if those landlords mention that agents contribute to the outrageous
Yes.
annual rent,
Yes.
well, they are not too far from the truth.
We're not too far from the
They are not too
truth.
far from the truth.
Okay.
They actually contributed to it. Although I don't do renting. I do
Okay. Sales and development. Okay.
But the thing is, the major challenge of housing. So persons have the money, but they may not have the time to build and get it done. They are so busy and the rest. Why they are so, they have just small amount of money, or they don't want to continue paying this outrageous rent. That's another challenge entirely. There are some, they have the money and they also have the time to build. So you see, these three persons have different challenge. Real estate consultants comes in and help to solve this problem.
Wow.
For persons like they have money but they don't have the time, we have the system that works that enables them to be able to, within the space of 60, 90 days, they can get a completed 2, 3, 4 bedroom flat.
60 to 90 days.
60 to 90
Oh, so my problem is solved. So the next 60 to 90 days, that's about 3 months, 2 months to 3 months. I should have my own home. Oh, we are going to sit back after the show to discuss that.
So we have that arrangement.
Yeah.
Then for those that they have just small amount of money, but they don't want to continue paying this high rent, we also have the arrangement for them where
No
you can pay
contributions.
as instrumental. You get now, they pay instrumental payment for that. They may make just 10% payments. They can even move into the apartment.
Wow.
And
Wow.
gradually
You
they
pay
pay
up.
and they become.
You have that provision.
Yeah, the provision.
And that's where you're establishing, where you starting from, let me know, where you starting from. All is not in the you have strategic place, because I know there are some persons.
Asaba and the same variant. We have
Okay.
that arrangement in Asaba and the same variant.
Wow.
Then for those people too that they don't have the money to build yet, they can also acquire landed properties and also pay at installment. So these are solutions to be able to provide in the real estate.
Thank you guys. You guys have really done a good job, and keep it up. The electrician who refused to be an electrician and is providing, because that's what thinking about is, can you do something extra? Can you meet the immediate needs? When you find where you are is clustered, or you don't find any passion there, like Tim said, you find where there's passion and where there's a need gap to fill. Industrial chemistry might involve looking for money to open a big industry, moving outward, and there's already a system that is running. I really appreciate you guys for coming, and I know that before the end of the show, maybe we will also, do a rebound, discuss one more thing before we go. But thank you, and I hope you continue to excel in your various endeavors. And thank you very much, Shadrach.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and that is where we are for now. When we go for this quick break, when we come back, we will also be attending to another sphere of society. We just attended to a sphere of business where people have provided solutions. Remember that money is the reward for value added. These guys have added values in the property sector. They've also added value. In fact, they've made one appreciate the need to get vehicular movement and be able to understand it is part of our existence.